The chairman of ANLCA MMA chapter, Honorable Bola Asiru Balogun, has called on the Nigeria Customs Service to address some persistent challenges, especially those affecting airport operations and the welfare of licensed agents. He urged customs management to revisit the issue of proper compensation for licensed custom agents who, according to him, are critical revenue mobilizer for the federal government. While applauding the CGC Adeni transformational leadership, he spotlighted urgent operational gaps at the Muritala Mohammed Airport and beyond.
Honorable Bola Asiru Balogun. I am the chairman of ANLCA MMAC chapter. I came in recently. I am a product of the rule of law. I'm sure you know that before now, there used to be a chairman here, but the court has spoken, and that's why I'm here. So I'm managing director of Sufukopu Nigeria Limited. We deal in, just like you know, we deal in clearing of consignments, deal in custom brokerage. We're a licensed company that specializes in custom. Let me just personify him, that he's an embodiment of efficiency and innovation. He's a seasoned operator, and that shows in the lofty achievements he made recently, becoming the #1 custom officer in the world. So when you look at that achievement, it only tells you that he's a seasoned administrator, and also what he has brought to bear within the clearing and forwarding industry, or within the customs food in Nigeria. It speaks volume about this person, to the extent that he has introduced different new innovations, particularly the birth of a first ever homegrown revenue collection platform, the BOW, which of course you may say is having some teething problems, but then it is our own for the first time. So that is an achievement, and it will only take an administrator to be so resilient in getting that done. Prior to now, we depend on foreign companies to offer such platforms. But now, we can beat our chest as a nation that we have our own homegrown collection platform. So, to that extent, I see him as an innovator of new ideas. And also, the reforms that has taken place during his tenure, you will agree with me that he has done wonderfully well. And for me, for every good initiatives, every achievement deserves compensation. And I think that is what the President, Federal Republic of Nigeria, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, I think that is what he has equally compensated, by extending his term. Because nobody changes a willing horse without any reasons. So, to me, he's an embodiment of ideas and knowledge in the customs planners. Of course, it is, because for every actions, for every innovation, for every commitment, compensation, should come. So for him to have, that will even give him the opportunity to stabilize the revenue collection regime. The BOW is still very young. BOW is still very young, and he knows his own ideas, so he needs to nurture it. He needs time, So, and also being the #1 custom officer in the world now, as the president of the World Custom Organizations, he needs to consolidate on that as well. So the extension is not out of place, it's better place. I want to narrow it down to my own domiciled environment, that is the airport. Air shipments. Air shipments are special cargoes, and it entails speed, and that's why importers, resort to bringing consignment through the airport. Now, I think there should be, or I believe that there should be, in the Biodogu platform, there should be consideration for air-based shipments, such that there should be that discretionary powers vested in officers at the commands, particularly air-based shipments, because it entails time. So going through all the hubs of documentations and all that for speed, there's a need for us to have that consideration, particularly for air shipments, such that the purpose of choosing air transport will not be defeated, because it's all about time and speed. So when you don't get the value for that, when you still have to go through the same process that shipments through the sea goes through, the purpose will be defeated. For instance, production line comes to a halt, grinds to a halt, and you need to replace certain parts. So you don't have to go, you're not expected to go through all the hogs of larger shipments that comes through the sea. So that's why you consider going through the airport, because of the time. And of course, when you are equally paying for, because the freight of air shipments is quite different from that of the sea, and duty is calculated based on cost, insurance and freight. So it means that already there's penalty on your part. So shipments through the airport, through the air, should not be too stringent in the clearing process. So that is an area that I think the designers of the Odogu should look into. Then also another lingering matter that has to do with compensation for licensed custom agents. I think he needs to look into that as well, because we are the one that generates this revenue that we're talking about anyway. Even though we work in collaboration with the customs, but we are the one that goes out there to mobilize these resources into the federal government coffers. So this time, this extension that he has, I wish that he will use part of the extension to address this long overdue matter, such that we can be rightly compensated. And if you look at it, the statutory fee of a licensed custom agent is not protected. Now we are at the mercy of the importers. Whatever they pay is what we collect. But there's a statutory collection who should be the one to protect them. Is the customs, because we are licensed through them. So it should equally try and look into that area. But this is I want to believe that it is God that has given him that extension, so that he can address our problems, so that his name will be written in gold. I have been one of the proponents of scrapping CRFFN. When I was vice chairman in 2014, I am one of those that went for a meeting in their place, in their office there, and told them to their face that, look, the CRFFN is misplaced. We are licensed custom agents, so we cannot be having dual regulation of just one body. So the federal government licensed us through a licensing authority, which is the customs, and the regulatory body, the regulatory ministry is the Ministry of Finance, because what we do is we generate revenue for the federal government. So the decision of the court, of a competent court of jurisdiction in Nigeria, speaks volume. The recent pronouncement of the federal court states clearly that there are two distinct, that we are two distinct, I think I have it here, that the LCA, that's the licensed custom agents, and freight forwarders are two distinct bodies. So, in the first place, CRFFN has no right to even license us or to even regulate us. So, Nagaf saying that our membership should be revoked or something is even uncalled for. We should not even be there in the first place. So, coming up to say that the CRFFN should deregister us, no. See, ANLCA has been in existence even before the creation of CRFFN. ANLCA is just like a Siamese twins with the customs, because the Customs Act also created the agents, the custom brokers. So it's just a misplacement of regulations that in the first place CRFFN is claiming regulatory powers about. No. So NAGAF should understand that even if you in the international balance, freight forwarders are not licensed custom agents. We are two different bodies. So we should not even be lumped together in the first place. We should not be lumped. And I want to salute some of our leaders who have pursued this matter to a logical conclusion. Oga Amiweru, that has pursued this, because over time, some of us have been saying that this is very, very wrong. And for him to have gone to the extent of getting a court pronouncement on it, NAGAF should know now that we are just two different bodies, operating within the same supply chain in the management industry. So they should not, it's just like you claim to be a student of, for instance, University of Lagos. You must belong to a department. So within the supply chain management industry, yes, we render services, but ours is more related to revenue generation. So NAGAF should just go and understand that.